Hi, folks. All right. So you still get to hear my voice and see me, even though I'm on leave. I'm going to try to do this in one take, so bear with me. I'm going to go through and do some cutting of Play-Doh to look at the cross sections. This is something you could totally do at home. All right, so we have a cylinder to begin with, okay? And you should have talked about now the idea of cutting parallel to the base versus perpendicular to the base. So we're going to look at both of those. So if I have my cylinder and I cut it, we're going perpendicular to the base. So this is my plane, okay? This is the plane. And it's going to go perpendicular to the base. Okay. So there we go. There's our cross section right there. Now keep in mind, because it's Play-Doh, it is going to get squishy, but I'm going to kind of fake put it back together for this next one. So the second way is to go okay, and hopefully you guys can see. Hopefully I don't cut myself on camera. That would be funny. Not really. Okay, there's the cross section of that one. Okay, and it's right there. So we're looking for that shape. Okay. All right, so now let's try a different one. What's fun is usually if we were in the building, we would do this with food. But unfortunately we can't. It's very sad. Okay. So here we are with a sphere. Okay. In a sphere, it does not matter which way you cut it, perpendicular or parallel. If you're going right through the center, it's going to end up being the same thing no matter what. So there you go. Okay. Now, what will change, and here I'll show it to you, is if we kind of go more of a diagonal. So if I come at this from a diagonal rather than right through the center, sometimes it turns into an ellipse. This was not a good one, so it's still a circle. But sometimes, depending on where you cut it, it can be an ellipse. All right, next. All right, I think the next one I'm going to make is a cone. So I'm going to use this circular part as my base to help make sure that it is a circle. Okay, so there's my cone. It's kind of a sad cone, but that's okay. Okay, so if I go parallel to the base, we get a circle. Now, hopefully you're realizing that anytime you go parallel to the base, you're going to get the same shape as the base. Okay? That will be true all the time. Anytime you go parallel to the base, same shape as the base. Now, if instead we go down through the top, were perpendicular to the base, what shape did we get? It looks like a hat, right? Here's our shape. Okay. The other one we need to look at for this one, if I can put it back together, and it's going to be a little tricky to see, but we can also cut it not down the center and we get a different shape. So that's kind of hard to tell, but this would be the shape right here. Okay. All right. Now we're going to try to do a pyramid. That's going to be a little bit trickier, so bear with me for a second while I... There are a lot of YouTube videos that show cross sections and show cutting. So if you're having trouble visualizing it, first I would recommend that you actually do the cross section yourself. Find some Play-Doh, find, I don't know, fruit or cheese that looks okay, and actually do the cutting, because that really helps to be able to see the cuts and stuff. Okay. So here is sort of a pyramid. Yay, okay. So again, okay, it's the base, oops, let me make sure you can actually see that. The base is a square, right? So if we cut this parallel to the base, what shape are we going to get? Okay, so think about that. If we cut this parallel to the base, okay, what do we end up with? Okay, remember, parallel to the base means you're going to get the base. Okay, if we cut down the center, perpendicular to the base, here's our shape. Okay, and then the last shape that we need to look at is a prism. So a cube and a prism are basically the same thing. The difference, obviously, is that a cube has all 6 sides are the same, so you're always going to get a square. So if we had this right here, and if you cut it parallel to the base or perpendicular to the base, you're going to get a square. Now, the only time you're going to not get a square is if you cut it diagonally. Okay, what do we know about triangles? What did we just got done learning, right? That a right triangle, which is right here, this side is the hypotenuse, and it's longer than these 2 sides. So if you cut diagonally, you end up with a rectangle. Okay. Then, with a rectangular prism, so if I go like this, okay, depends on which way you sit it, right? Okay, but right now, if I cut it vertically, we would get that shape, okay? If we cut it horizontally, this is going to be a tricky one to cut horizontally. Okay, we get a deformed but recognizable rectangle, okay? So that is a little exploration of things. Okay. Play-Doh is fun. We would have also played with Play-Doh if we were in the building. So get some Play-Doh and have some fun. If you don't have Play-Doh, clay works. Or, like I said, you could grab some cheese or kind of anything that you can make into different shapes. All right. Work hard.